All right, let's find our way to our mat. I thought today we would focus on that idea of sometimes life and our schedules and work and that to-do list and all our responsibilities can feel overwhelming, and we just need a little peace, a little quiet. And so that's kind of the theme for today, incorporating some poses that I think really help manifest or foster or cultivate peace and quiet, turning inward, coming back, feeling grounded so that we can get back out there and be productive. So let's find an easy seat to get started. Settling in those sit bones. Remember, easy seat can be whatever feels best for you. Maybe you even want to sit on a blanket and lift the hips a little bit if the lower back is uncomfortable. Drop those shoulders, let them sink down. Blink the eyes closed. And let's turn to that breath, focusing just on that next inhale and its exhale. Sending the breath down into the belly. Just allowing yourself to soften, allowing yourself to come to practice, and reminding the mind as often as we need to in practice that it can be quiet for now. All we have to do is breathe. Let's start in the shoulders. We're going to squeeze the shoulders up, roll them all the way back and down. And then we're going to switch directions. We're going to squeeze the shoulders up and then roll them forward. And then we'll relax those shoulders. We're going to drop our right ear over toward the right shoulder. Maybe bring those left fingers to the mat. And then we'll inhale, sink the chin down toward the chest. Exhaling, left ear over toward that relaxed and soft left shoulder. Maybe bringing the right fingers to the mat. And then dropping that chin down toward the chest, we're going to stack palms of the hands on the crown of the head. Gently pull that chin toward the chest just a little bit. And as we release, we're going to lift the gaze, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, we'll twist to the right, right hand behind. Keep that spine nice and tall as we twist. On our inhale, we'll reach up tall. Exhale, we'll twist to the left. Inhale, reaching tall. Exhale, bringing those hands all the way down. Let's come to our tabletop hands and knees, stacking those shoulders over the wrists, the hips over the knees. Let's circle out those hips just a little bit, get some movement going. And we'll switch directions. And then we'll take cat and cow. On that inhale, we're going to lift the gaze, drop the belly button. As we exhale toward cat, rounding the spine, tucking the chin, we're also going to start to sink the hips back toward the heels, toward that child's pose. Inhale, come all the way up into cow. Exhale, round toward cat, sink it back a little bit. Inhale, cow, your pace. Let's take 2 more breaths. And this time as we round, we're going to walk the knees a little bit wider, touch the toes, and settle into our first child's pose, sinking the hips all the way toward those heels. You can stay up on the forearms if the hips are a little tight so that you can hang the head and find that rest. Breathing across that lower back. And then on our inhale, we're going to flow forward, spread the fingers, tuck the toes, and we're going to send it up and back for that first down dog. Get settled in here. Maybe walk your dog, bend one knee, then the other. Maybe you want to bend both knees. And then we're going to travel to the top of the mat into a ragdoll. Bend the knees, hang the head, grab opposite elbows. And then as we release, we're going to roll all the way up into that mountain. Really feel rooted and anchored in those feet. Lift up through the crown of the head. On our inhale, we're going to reach up tall. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to sweep tall. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to sweep it tall. Exhale, we'll fold. This time, we're going to plant the hands, find our way to a plank. It can be a high plank or modified, up to you. Exhale, lower down, nice and controlled, elbows in along the body. Inhale, lifting the chest, baby cobra. Exhale, pressing back, down dog. You could always take a child's pose instead of a down dog if you like. On our inhale, we're going to travel to the top of our mat. And then we're going to bend the knees generously. We're going to feed our hands, palms up, all the way under those feet. And then hang the head and try to stretch just a little bit. Extend the legs. Feel that stretch in the shoulders, the back, the legs. Gorilla pose. And then we'll release those hands. Inhale for halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping tall. Exhale, folding, stepping back to our plank. Exhale to lower down. Inhale, lifting the chest, baby cobra. Exhale, sending it back, down dog. On our inhale, we'll bend the knees, step walker hop to the top. Bend those knees generously, feed the hands all the way under, hang the head, work to straighten and lengthen. Keep that breath. We'll release our gorilla, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping tall. Exhale, folding, coming to plank. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, baby cobra or an up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, traveling to the top. Exhale, we'll fold, coming into that gorilla. And release. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping tall. Let's take one more like that. Exhale, we'll fold, step back to our plank. Exhale to lower down. Inhale, lifting the chest, baby cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, we'll travel to the top. Exhaling to fold and into that gorilla. Feed those hands all the way under. And we'll release. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping tall. Exhale, as we fold, this time we're going to step our right foot back, finding a warrior one. So we want those heels on a balance beam, those right toes out about 45 degrees. Hips are turning toward the top of the mat. Shoulders nice and soft. Feel that breath and that stretch in the back leg. And we're going to draw those hands to heart center. Turn to the wide edge. Turn those toes pointed out. We're going to sink into a goddess. Weight in the heels. The chest is lifted. Feel that breath. Inhale, reaching tall for star. On our exhale, turn those feet parallel, wide leg fold, melt the chest down between the legs. Inhale for a halfway lift, chest parallel. Exhale, round and fold. Use that inhale to roll back up, pull those heels in. We're going to return to that goddess. This time we're going to bring our hands to the top of the legs. We're going to drop one shoulder toward the mat, lift the chest back to center, drop the other shoulder down toward the mat. Nice and slow. We're going to do 3 with each shoulder. Coming back to center as you're ready. Hands to heart center. Feel that work in the legs. Reach tall. Stretch for star. Exhale, warrior two, turning the left toes back to the top. Inhale, we'll windmill those hands. Down dog. We're going to walk our hands back to our feet, back of the mat, and gorilla. Feed those hands underneath. And release. We're going to walk back out to our down dog. You could add the bottom of your salutation if you want to. And then we'll travel to the top of the mat. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhaling tall. Exhale, as we fold, we'll step our left foot back. Warrior one. We'll draw the hands to heart center. Open up to that wide edge. Sink into our goddess. Feel that length in the spine. the energy of that breath. Inhale, reaching for star. Exhale, wide leg fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release and round. Inhale to roll tall. Heels back in, sink into goddess. Hands again to the top of the legs. We'll drop one shoulder and then the other. Three of each. And then we'll lift that chest. Grow tall with an inhale for your star. Exhale, warrior two to the top. Turning those right toes. Gazing over right fingers. We'll windmill the hands, frame that foot, step it back, down dog. And again, we'll walk our hands back to the feet, find our gorilla at the back of the mat. And as we release, we'll walk out to our down dog. Or again, if you want to take the bottom of a salutation, you can do that here. On that next inhale, we're going to roll to a plank. Exhale, lower down all the way to the belly. Stack the forearms in front. Rest the head, belly, Shavasana. Grounding down here. Feel that breath. All those connection points to the mat. We're going to find a sphinx. Bringing those elbows underneath the shoulders. You should feel that stretch in the lower back. But if it's anything more than a stretch, just lower back down to your belly, Shavasana. And you can stay here in a Sphinx hold, or we can take that shoulder drop here as well. So on the exhale, maybe drop that right shoulder toward the mat and look over the left shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale, drop the left shoulder, look over the right. Again, three with each shoulder if you're taking those shoulder dips. Back to center. And we'll stack the forearms, rest the head, belly Shavasana, back to that breath. And one more time to our Sphinx. Again, you can stay here. We can take the shoulder dips, or if you like seal, where you take the hands out to the corners and extend up for a little more intense back stretch. Your choice here. Just keep that slow, steady breath. One more breath if you're in that seal. Coming back to Sphinx, settling back in, finishing those shoulder drops if you're doing that. Everybody back to that Sphinx. And as we exhale, lower down, slide those hands underneath the shoulders, and we'll send it back to a child's pose, sinking those hips, maybe stretching the arms, or you can bring those arms back by the feet. Maybe the forehead connects to the mat. Maybe you want to massage out that forehead. And grounding down here, just you, your practice, your breath. One more breath. And then we're going to rise back up to that tabletop. We're going to take that same cat and cow flow we did earlier. So inhaling for cow, exhale as we round for cat. We'll sink those hips toward the heels. Inhale, flow up into that cow. Exhale, round for cat. Sink it back. Two more breaths. And then as we come back to neutral, we're going to lower a hip, find our way to seated. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together, grow up nice and tall. And here at center, first, we're going to start one way with really small circles. With that breath, start to make those circles a little bit bigger. And we're going to come back to neutral. We'll start the other way, starting small first, and then growing those circles. Checking in with those sit bones, with the breath, with the body. Then we'll inhale back at center, grow tall. Exhale, hinge from the hips and the chest out toward the feet. When you find your stretch, then you can round if you want to and stay. And we'll roll tall. We're going to send that right leg out. We're going to keep the sole of the left foot on the inside of that right leg. Pull those right toes back towards you. Reach tall. Exhale, hinge, and fold. And release. Switching sides, we're going to extend that left leg. Sole of the right foot on the inside of that left leg. Pull those toes back, reach it tall. Exhale, hinge, and fold. And as we release, we'll send both legs out. Readjust those sit bones. Grow nice and tall. Exhale, hinge, and fold. And as we release, I'm going to give you an option here. If you really loved that belly shavasana, having that head kind of between the arms as a way to block out the rest of the world, you can find belly shavasana for our final shavasana if you like. Otherwise, we're going to roll down onto that back for regular shavasana. Give you a few breaths here to get settled in whichever shavasana you like with whatever props you like. Maybe settle the back or settle those hips. Relaxing the body, blinking the eyes closed, coming back into that breath, focusing just on that next inhale and its exhale. Allowing those connection points of the body to the mat to grow deeper and deeper. Allow yourself to melt and for that mind to be clear. A few more breaths here. Feeling settled and relaxed. Maybe invite some gentle movement first to come back into the body. And if you elected to take a belly shavasana, you'll go ahead and press yourself back toward a child's pose. If you're in regular shavasana, we're going to plant the feet and roll to either side. And we'll pause to feel in our practice, to thank ourselves for coming, to breathe in all the good and to exhale out anything we want to leave here on our mat. Finding your way to an easy seat as you're ready. Settling again in the sit bones, lifting up through the crown of the head, feeling tall and relaxed and ready to face the world again. Thank you so much for sharing practice today. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining. As I said, I hope that helps you cultivate some peace and quiet. Come back to this flow as much as you like and as often as you need. Also, I have a full length version of this peace and quiet class. If you're craving a little bit more, I do have this full length class in my Yoga with TG membership. It has a library of practices of all lengths, of all styles, so that no matter what it is you need, you can search in the search bar for something that will be just right for you on that given day and around whatever schedule you want. So you don't need to be scrolling through all the YouTube search options or trying to find the one. You can open up the TG membership app, find the flow you want, and you're ready to go. Whether you want to practice at work, practice in the morning, at home, whether you want something a little bit more challenging or you need a restorative, it's all in there, as well as yoga tips and meditations. So check out the link. And if you want to see behind the scenes, check out this video as well. And I hope that you'll join us. Namaste.